just a quick video about as most of us are starting to come out of lockdown or maybe out of winter hibernation, and some of the small checks that we can do on our bikes just to make sure that they're safe and actually they're working in the way that we want them to do. I think it's really important that we follow a systematic approach, and most people who have done advanced riding will follow the POWDERS acronym. Most of us then build on that, and I certainly have over the time, and I've sort of added things that are suitable for me, for whether it's my kit or whether it's things that are unique to the bike. It can be a big Super Duke GT like this, or it can be on a number of other different models, but I'll go through them now and people can understand what they are. Now, my Super Duke GT has literally just come back from the dealers. It's had a full service, so I know things like the chain, the sprockets are all top notch. I know that the brakes are, but I'm going to go over them very briefly. So starting off with a systematic approach, as I've said there. So POWDERS, really starting to look at your petrol. So you want to go out there, if you've not used the bike for some time, I'd highly recommend that you keep your top up, go straight to the petrol station, fill it as high as you can and get some fresh fuel in that bike. I always go for the highest RON possible, and I believe it clears the bike out, but there's a few urban myths about that, but I always do anyway. So petrol, oil on this bike, the oil has been changed and all the filters have, but check your oil. Really important that you've got good oil in there, not too high, not too low. Too high can obviously blow seals, too low can obviously damage the engine, and so you don't want to do that. So follow your manual, don't go follow any of these urban myths about how to check oil. Flat surface, make sure that the oil, whether it's a dipstick on this one, it's a side glass, it's really easy to see, but make sure it's within the right things. W, so lots of different things about W. Coolant on my bike, the coolant's down there. I know it's been checked because it's just on a full service. Check your wheels as well, make sure they're all, I have a quick look around my bike, I make sure everything's tightened, I make sure everything's okay. But there's a lot of different things for wheels, for W. D, your bike might have been in storage, it might have been in the garage, it might have been outside under a cover. So check around the bike, have a look for any damage. You might want to check your headstock bearings. Are they sound? You know, are they okay? So you know, you're looking for any damage on the bike that you might not have. Something might have fallen over on it that you might not have noticed. I actually had it on mine where the rear indicator, my daughter clattered into my rear indicator and made it loose. So I've had that replaced. So just check your any damage for your bike as well. Have a look at your drive. So D for drive. Sprockets, are they okay? Is your chain lubed? You know, make sure the wheels are freely working, freely moving. Really important that you've got that full drive. There's a few other D's, but you know, damage, drive, I think they're the main ones. E is electrics. A lot of things you can cover with there on E, but the main ones are electrics. So make sure your indicators, your lights are all working, your brake lights, you know, you don't often see them. Of course, you want to take, use and then give information, so make sure your horn is working, so you know the whole of the electrics are working. So, and again, like I say, all the lights are working, and electrics and indicators. Rubber, this is a really important one. So my daughter's got her scooter there. We checked the rubber, the tyre pressures. They were really quite low, so we checked on the tyre pressures. Mine, again, I know that it's just had a full service, so before I go out, I'll give it another quick test. It's got the tyre pressure indicators, but just check those tyre pressures. And I can't stress this enough, because if you know that your tyres are in good condition and there's no damage on them and there's nothing stuck in there and they've got good rubber on them and the right pressures, you can have confidence when you're tipping it into the corner, or in you're starting to build up your confidence in your bike again, that the actual things that are touching the rubber are they're sound. There's no problems with them. If you have that confidence, then anything else that you're feeling, it could be road conditions, it could be anything else, you know that you're in good hands there. So really check the tyre pressures, really check them. Go to your manual, check your manual tyre pressures. Don't follow these urban myths about making them warm and this and this and that. Go to your manual and read them. You know, they'll differ. You might have a super bike, and obviously that's got different tyre pressure requirements. If you're going on track, and we'll cover that in a second, but you know that will have a different set of requirements for riding on track than say, for example, on road. But use your manual. And then finally, really suspension, self. There's a load of different things. I'll cover self in another little video that we'll do maybe tomorrow or in the next week. But yeah, but certainly look at your suspension, look at your steering, look at anything that can give you some extra really, and make sure that they're all sound. That, you know, there's no play in the steering, the bearings haven't gone loose, haven't got a problem with the bearings, your suspension's going up and things like that. And I've adopted S for stopping as well, so not only will I'll give my bike a little bit of a brake test before I run it, but if I look at the scooter now, so when we checked Alex's scooter before we brought it out for after the summer, the bike was spot on, everything was running, but what we noticed was there was a little drag on the brake. And what was happening was it was just sticking on. You can see that there's loads of strength in that brake. So what we did is we put it on the centre stand, we took the brake reservoir off, just undone that, pressed it a little bit, held it in for about 24 hours with the cable tied around that, and actually the bike freewheels perfectly now, so there's no problem with that. And then on the, say for example on the super bike, this super bike has had brand new calipers, sorry not calipers, brand new master cylinder and brand new brake pads. So little tips, I'm sure people who are on track will know these things, but give the discs an emery, a little bit of emery paper on the discs, making sure that the bike can freewheel correctly, and then obviously if you're going on track you've got to put a brake guard on there now. But new master cylinder, new pads, give that a go. And like I say, the last thing really, make sure your suspension's working. I mean, that's lovely and plush. Make sure that roll the bike so you know that the stoppers are doing what they're supposed to do, front brake as well as back brake. And then in the next little video I'll just remind people about what to do about self. So if you're like me, struggling actually to get into your leathers or into your riding clothes, we'll go through that and make sure things are okay there. Crash helmet,
you did diet plans.
So thanks everyone, hope you enjoy this, hope this is useful. Just a reminder of the systematic approach to your bike. Next time we'll do systematic approach to kit, and then we'll do a little bit of a systematic approach to getting back on the road hopefully, and just feeling your way back into the road.